8 p.m. No talking to anyone, no looking anyone in the eyes. The course started and the game was on. All right. I literally had to go back home, change my t-shirt because it was too hot. Anyway, let's hit it. So, as I probably mentioned in the last video, everything started with me asking ChatGPT what meditation really was, or the effects of it. ChatGPT told me it can help you out with anxieties, inner peace, happiness. Anyway, so I thought, all right, cool. Can you mention two techniques? Give me the most popular techniques. And so it mentioned two of them. One was the Vipassana technique, and the other one, I can't remember the name of it. So I thought, all right, fine. Tell me about the Vipassana technique first, and then we can move on to the other one. It mentioned a few points. It works like this. It was developed by this guy and whatnot. And then in the end, see, ChatGPT works in a funny way. At the bottom, it usually asks, do you want me to do this? I can do this for you too, just to keep you engaged with the AI. And so I thought, sure, tell me more about this Vipassana. No, he said, I can subscribe you to a free 10-day course if you want at this website. And I was like, sure, why not? Let me check it out. I went to the website. I couldn't find the page where you could subscribe and enlist to a free course. So I thought, never mind. Fuck it. It's probably some hippie shit. I don't care. And so one day, I had a conversation with a colleague of mine at work. We started talking about meditation. And so I brought this up. I mentioned the Vipassana that ChatGPT told me about. And then he said, no, okay, sure. He said, Vipassana, it's a very famous or popular technique. You should definitely try it out. And yeah, if they have a 10-day course, you should try and see what it's all about. It's definitely going to benefit you. And then I thought, should I give it a chance? And since he's experienced in meditation, he advised me to just try to see if it would benefit me. And I thought, sure. All right. Went back to the website, and then I subscribed. 2 months later, I took the bus. I went there, checked the whole place out with scrutiny, the buildings and stuff. It was in the middle of nowhere, like in the middle of Sweden. And I thought, sure, okay, why not? I thought, if I don't like it, I could always leave. And it's free anyway, so we went through the introduction. They gave us some important information. They had a few points that you had to follow. Morality points, ethics, no sexual acts during your stay, no lying, hurting other creatures because that will give you bad karma, all the good stuff, all right? They call it morality. And I was like, okay, sure. Fast forward, 8 p.m. No talking to anyone, no looking anyone in the eyes. The course started and the game was on. So the first 3 days, I arrived, I recorded some, like the scenery on the bus, the train, and everything from and to the place. Unfortunately, when I was gonna transfer the files from the camera to the computer, I lost them, all of them. Interviews, recorded the scenery, everything, the way to and from the center. Anyways, it happens. I really wanted you guys to see other meditators' point of view, so I interviewed one of them. I thought you guys wanted to see it, but fortunately, it's gone. Okay, so try to picture this in your head. For 10 days, you're supposed to be with yourself, in your own mind, get to know your thoughts, and then day by day control them with deeper and deeper meditation strategies. Okay? Now, 8 p.m., the first day, the course started. We left our bags in our rooms, made ourselves comfortable. At 8 p.m. sharp, we had to be in the meditation hall. The meditation hall is a big hall with 50 men and 50 women, each on one side. And there we sat. We introduced to the first technique, which is called anapana. And this technique, it works like this. So you focus on a small triangle on your face, all right? Starts with the upper lip, goes all the way up here. And you just focus on it. Focus your complete mind on it. Just feel it. And you can't let your thoughts interrupt it. Any sensation you feel, you just don't react to it. Not cravings and not in aversion. Nothing. All right? Slowly, that would make your mind get tired of jumping around. They call it the jumping monkey because you always think of something and it always jumps from thought to thought. So, this technique is supposed to cool your mind down. Okay? And then we did that. The first day, the second day, and the third day, we basically just did the same thing, but we shrank the area. Instead of going with the big triangle, we ended up just with this part. And the more you shrink the area, the more your mind is sharper. It gets sharper and sharper. The more, yeah, you get the point. To be honest, on the third day, I felt so much lighter. Difficult to describe it, but it felt like that my heart was light like a feather. I'm pretty sure you can imagine the feeling. Now, it was all fun and games until day 4. On day 4, that was when the real thing started. The real Vipassana technique. And that was also when the pain started. Real pain. Now, look, the Vipassana technique is a method where you scan your whole body for sensations. Like you start from the head and go all the way that you just feel everything. Slowly but surely, all the way down to your feet. Now, this technique goes way deeper. It's the real one. The one I mentioned before, that was just You know, something to, just a teaser, all right, to train your focus. Now, imagine sitting down for 1 hour without moving, without scratching your head, uh, without moving your hands or opening your eyes. It's painful, I'm telling you. And we had to do that 3 hours a day from day 4 all the way up to day 10. It was very painful. Anyways, now I'll try to explain what it felt like to dive that deep into your soul. Because the whole experience is deep. I know it sounds strange that you just feel your body, but it takes you deep into your soul. And I'll explain. I'll explain. Don't worry. Look, I'll start by explaining the whole technique. So when you feel your body, you're feeling what your ego associates itself with. You're not your body, you're the observer within the body. When you feel a negative emotion inside your body, let's say your chest, your ears, feet, whatever, you're supposed to just be neutral to it. Okay? Now, if you would feel that something's itching on your body somewhere, and you scratch that itchy, the place that itches, just like I did now, look, I've already lost my progress. You're not supposed to crave it. It's a craving. You're not supposed to go after it. If your feet hurts, you're not supposed to change position because that's aversion of pain. You're not supposed to either crave anything or do any aversion. Okay? And if you feel pain, you're not supposed to, like, you're supposed to build tolerance towards it, like, tolerate the pain. Now, another thing we learned is the word anicca, which means the law of impermanence. Anytime you feel any feeling, good or bad, remember that it's impermanent. It will go very soon. Every moment is temporary. Now, if you take all these lessons, all of them, put together, you get lessons of life, basically. Put them together, and you have a wholesome life. You're not craving money. You're not avoiding, let's take this way. You're not avoiding uncomfortable feelings like not wanting to wake up early in the morning to go to work, for instance, or the pain of saying sorry or admitting something, some wrongdoing you've done to someone. It basically teaches you to be stoic, okay? And that's exactly what I learned. That's why I feel lighter. Now, I don't know about they say that if you scan your body deep enough, you can go deeper and deeper. There are levels to this thing. You would feel some negative emotions that they would call sankaras, and those are supposedly defilements, like emotional filth from earlier in your life, like traumas, have maybe when you got bullied in school, bad memories, anything negative. And whenever you focus on them, they just go away, right? I had to put the microphone on. Too windy. Anyway, on a side note, I have to admit the food was really good. They had some boiled dates with Swedish gröt. I don't know how to say it in English. I'll try to look it up, the name for gröt in English. That was breakfast. They had tea and coffee, fruits. What else? I don't know. Can't remember. In any case, every day, whenever we finish our last 1 hour sitting, we were shown an old recording of the guy who, I shouldn't say invented, but created the 10-day course idea. Yeah, S. Sanguenka. You can look him up. It's a little bit chubby guy, very kind and funny. His videos were the prime time of each finished day because you could finally watch a movie, relax, stretch your feet, no more pain. You just finished one day. Nice. Now, look, all in all, it was a good experience. I do recommend it to everyone. I mean, once in a lifetime. It's for free. They don't charge you anything. They run the whole thing on donations. So once you've done your first 10 days, once you're finished, then they'll give you an opportunity to donate money. Uh, and also, if you don't want to pay money or donate, you can still donate with voluntary work by serving others, giving back to the community. Of course, it's all for free. I think even the meditation teachers, the assistant teachers, even they work for free. Now, I have to tell you something funny about the assistant teacher that I had. That guy was a certified monk. He could sit still without moving for an entire period of like an hour, 2 hours, while all the other meditators they would always move a foot, move an arm, scratch their heads. They couldn't take it. It was too painful. Now, the last 3 days, 7, 8, and 9, were the most profound. I felt a very deep sense of peace. Almost like, when you're high on, what are they called? Synergetic? Hypergenic? What are they called? You know, mushrooms and stuff? Yeah. Very relieved of anxieties, filled with peace and compassion for everyone. I never expected to feel that. My mind went from positive thoughts to negative thoughts. I could go from feeling very peaceful and happy and compassionate to suspecting that this whole thing is just a scam running on donations to fill the pockets of the foundation. Okay? Because the meditation hall, the house, it was built for 7.5 million Swedish crowns. In dollars, that would be 750,000 dollars. That's a lot of money for an empty house or a building. Anyways, who am I to judge? I mean, they can make their money if they want to. On the very last day, the guy in the video, a Sanguinka that I told you about, he said that it's recommended to meditate for 1 or 2 hours daily. Daily for months. Unless you wanted to lose progress and go back to your old self. Here's one thing I want you to do. Go to ChatGPT and ask it to paint a picture of what it feels like to be in a deep, peaceful state from a 10-day Vipassana course. Okay? And let it explain it in a story format, so you can deeply understand it. Only then will you understand what I'm talking about, because words won't give it any justice. With this new superpower that I learned of meditation, I intend to vlog in different countries from now on and spread the peace that I learned and take you guys with me. You could watch, you could sit down.